All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to be talking about Tarkov, as always. The team talking about Tarkov. We've got Anton up top left, Veritas top right, Slash probably bottom left, and myself bottom right. ghostfreak66 is running a bit late when he gets in here. Who knows what the chat's going to do? We'll just live with that. But effectively, we're going to talk about a few things within Tarkov being that are current, and then we're going to talk about the future of Tarkov being pretty much what Battlestate Games released on their forum, saying that what they're going to be doing over the next 12 months, including apparently finishing the game. So, without further ado, first topic we're going to actually talk about tonight is leveling. Seeing that I just leveled to 40 in 24 hours, and I think I could do it probably about 3 or 4 hours quicker. I think, personally, that maybe leveling is a little bit too easy at the moment. Really skewed towards casual friendly. But we'll start off with Anton. And Anton, your opinion so far?
My opinion on the what's my opinion on
leveling? If it's too easy, if not.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't quite paying attention. I'm a little bit tired, but I think it's too easy to level for sure. But they're gonna put another trader level. I think it go to 50, but then they have to redo the levels because from 40 to 50 is like basically leveling up to 40 again. It takes a long time. So yeah, that's my opinion.
How long did it take you to get to 40?
A week and a half.
You were around pretty casually, weren't you?
Yeah, wasn't really like questing too hard. Once you start questing, that's when you really level up quick.
Yeah. What about Veritas? Your opinion?
Well, I mean, there's three kind of perspectives here. There's someone like me or like you guys who plays, 40, 50 hours a week in the current game. Then there's the folks that, only end up playing a couple hours a week because either they have crazy busy lives or they spend all their time watching us instead of playing. But then there's in the current game, and then there's also what it's supposed to be in the future, right? I have no idea how much the leveling and XP and everything is going to change when there's a whole new quest line and a whole new in the future soon TM when the game's totally different. It's hard to know if it's if you're going to be able to level to 50, 60 or 100, if it's going to take a year or if it's going to take a month. I have no idea, but I don't know. Like to me, it's really easy to level, but mostly because the quest XP, you get so much quest XP. But this is coming from somebody who's never died doing like delivery from the past, where like 85% of my chat says delivery from the past is like the hardest thing they've ever had to do, and it takes them 100,000 tries. So it's like there's a whole spectrum, right? With the one where you have to plant in factory after you go to customs, I think, right?
Yeah, the big red.
Oh my god.
I've never even been shot at while planting.
I've killed so many people doing that.
And you can do it in night time so now as well. The interesting thing,
I don't know.
I think at least, is the fact that you can't. You can get so much XP now, and only you can get level 40 with only killing 17 PMCs. Effectively.
Really?
I got level 40.
Wait, level 40?
Yep. You only need to get 12 PMC kills for Stirrup, and you only need 5 for Friend from the West Part 1. I didn't do any of Punisher Part 4. I didn't do any of the Mosin quests that required killing PMCs. I had 40 PMC kills when I hit 40.
Damn.
Not very many.
I just think the longer any game, like if you think of all the popular games, like something like WoW or Vanilla WoW, where it was actually hard to level, like people like grinding, man. I don't know. Tarkov's pretty good at the moment, but could use because there's so many items. I think they should add a higher level cap, make it to 50 or something.
Well, so in other games, the replayability comes from, like, think about Diablo. This we were mentioning this before we started the podcast, in that, like, if you could create a new character and start fresh, it eliminates the need for a wipe, because you're essentially doing that yourself while not losing progress. But if there's some way that you could like build your character and then have the replayability of being able to build it a different way, whether or not there's like skill trees or you build somebody to be slow and tanky versus being fast and nimble. And I don't know, like maybe that's too like RPG-esque, but that's the only way that games like this end up being replayable if they're RPGs, is different character builds, different loadouts, and or stuff like the prestige system. So they need something like that in Tarkov.
The discussion of prestige has been around a while. Like it's been brought up a lot since Tweak brought it up. Personally, I don't really like the idea of a bonus like advantage from being prestige. Besides the fact that until the game actually goes live, I wouldn't mind the fact being able to keep your passives, because that's the one thing that like over a wipe or a season, whatever you want to call it, you can't actually level your passives up to a really high level. It takes the whole time, even if you do play 40+ hour weeks.
Yeah.
And I like to experiment with the higher level passives.
I was saying this the other day, but like they've tested this now. We know, like they've been pretty stable for the last couple of patches. I think they know where they want them to be, like strength leveling and endurance. Why not just add a multiplier, like times it by 10 until the game goes full release, just so people can test them? It wouldn't be that hard.
That's been brought up a lot, particularly with the casual people. They want to actually see what the end. Like I had a lot of people that haven't been around since, say, probably about March. Anyone hasn't played since, who didn't play before March, has never seen strength at max level, kind of thing. Has never seen endurance max level. Because back then you could farm all that stuff quite easily, and there was cheesy ways of getting it. Then with like pretty much every skill in the game, there was a way of power leveling them. And so a lot of people actually.
And it was so godlike.
And there's a lot of questions about like what do the max levels do now, like because people don't even know about it, and they want to see.
We play the game.
Mm.
Sorry, I had to. It's South Park meme.
Yeah, like, I think with the current XP, it's probably gone a little bit too nuts. But if Anton is correct and they do add an extra level to traders, and it's not level 50 to unlock the end game, I don't know. It's a fair grind to get to 50. Fair grind indeed.
It's too long. They would probably have to. I mean, the XP from like 69 to 70 is the amount of XP it takes to get to level 69.
Yeah.
So it gets a little broken when you get way up there. I don't know. I mean, because the max level is 100.
You can't get to 70. Warren reckons he got to the 1 XP from 70 and it just stops there.
Nah, that
wait.
was guys.
He didn't tell me that. He said that it just takes the amount of XP to get to 70 as it does to 69. So it's like 8 million XP.
Ghost got to 70 a while back.
Yeah. And it just capped out?
Yeah, it just the bar fills up and then it just doesn't go any further.
Weird.
When was that? Because I've been higher than 70 before.
You've been higher than 70, really?
I think I'd have to go back, and I thought back in like 0.7 or 0.8. Like I could have sworn that everybody was like 72, 75. I'd have to double check.
It definitely wasn't 0.7, 0.8. It would have to be earlier than that.
Yeah.
Back in about 0.4 days, you used to get 10,000 XP for killing a guy above level 50. So maybe back in like 0.4, 0.5 days. We'd have to look into it, but
because I started playing in January, so it wasn't that long ago.
It's just yeah. I like the idea that they've made it more casual friendly, but with the more XP from quests. I didn't realize how much XP you got from quests until I started doing my video today, where I was actually looking into how there's just under 2 million XP from quests alone, which is above level 40. So if you were to complete every quest in the game now, you would get above level 40. And it's just like, if you could literally just avoid combat and just get your quest done, farm some loot, drop off some items.
But so
This
like,
is
so
really not much, is it?
We're talking about leveling. So like, let's talk getting from 40 to 50. Other than having like the EPN size, there's effectively zero benefit you get from that, right? At all, other than your dog tag becomes more valuable, which is arguably not a benefit. So they like I said, there's currently no end game design, no end game implementation. So until they flesh out what that is, figuring out how fast you should level and how easy it should be to level, I don't know how useful.
Bro,
that
what
whole
about
thing
the
is.
hideout? I just realized we're getting the hideout soon.
It's,
That
Oh,
might have to do with leveling.
it's not to do with 11 though.
I don't know. Well, but it'll definitely like add to the leveling. That, if I had to assume, because that's how you're gonna be able to upgrade your stash for all the standard account players. That's why you like haven't been able to do that yet. It's because they were waiting for the hideout.
But okay,
that'd
so
be
I'm so
kinda
excited
cool.
for the hideout.
So with the hideout, so the only real thing we know about it is Nikita said you'll have a TV in there that you can watch your own YouTube channel on, and
And you can
What?
mine bitcoins.
and you,
Wait, will I get ad revenue?
mate, and what was the other one, Anton?
You can mine bitcoins. You can cook Tashanka. You can invite people over. You have a shooting range, and you can cook Tashanka. Yeah.
So
You can cook
That's all I
Tashanka.
know.
That's all.
I did hear from someone that
I heard you could cook Tashanka. Can you
Yes.
confirm?
I did hear from someone that you could get all your stash items would be inside your hideout physically.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, if you had like a
You
wall
go
where
to
you
a
could
weapon
take up
case
all
and
your
open it.
guns.
I'd need a
Like Kiba?
wall just to like slot all my cash in.
Money case, bro.
Not big enough.
You just have a money case somewhere.
I just want to.
Visa card.
Yes, they need to put the whole credit card into the game.
Oh, that would save so much time. It is. Oh, nothing annoys me more than when I spend money and it takes it out of one fucking money case, and then it's not full, and I sit there and I'm like, I'm moving around. I'm just like, and then I open it up, and then I see one stack that's not 100k, and it just breaks my mind every time. Every time I repair my armor or insure, kills me.
Unpopular
Mostly
money should not be a physical thing that takes up space in your inventory. Going back to like Diablo, it's a whole separate thing. You just have a wallet that may or may not have like a maximum or whatever, but I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I just feel like
that'd
you
be kinda
shouldn't
nice.
have why would a cache take up as much space as a rifle? You know, a bunch of stacks of cash. Like
Yeah,
you need a lot of money.
This is one thing that annoys me a lot about the cash system is I think that just having a singular number for the 3 different types of thingo would actually solve like shitloads of their moving item game problems,
Errors.
because I think that the item moving errors are mainly to do with cache when you try and control click it out of your inventory or into your inventory.
It's changing of
That's when I
values.
get most of my item movies. Yeah, I think that's the main thing that's causing it. And if they just took it out and just had it as a number, it's done.
It's like you
It is
loot
done.
cash from a raid, you come out of the raid, and you just deposit it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think they want, because like part of the money case is part of the progression. Like
Yeah.
getting one to save space. I guess that would be a reason they want to keep it.
That's the worst reason to keep a stupid mechanic.
It is. It is not a good idea, but it's not. I don't know.
Listen, until you can put Bitcoin in flash drive, the game's fucking broken, in my opinion. So,
That'd be
literally
cool.
unplayable.
That'd
That would be cool, actually. Yes, if you could stack them in a flash drive,
Mm.
This is
I'd want to see a cool animation for that as well. With him stuffing it in there. He needs to log on to a
Just
computer
jamming
in
it.
raid.
Puts
He's
it
like-
in a
he's
DVD
it-
drive and loads it.
No, he's got his USB just in the computer in the office, and he's just like jamming bitcoins into the screen. Someone comes in and kills him. Oh no, my flash drive. I've lost my
What if-
key.
they should make it so that like there's higher denominations. Like like it's not just 1 ruble. Like you could have a stack of 100,000, like $1,000 bills or whatever, right? Like they could be clever about that as a mechanic of having to be more annoying to buy things or make change. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe that's a terrible idea, but just
Yeah,
like
change
at one
would be
point
so insane.
last wipe, I had filled up about 80% of my EOD stash with just stacks of cash, and it was like, really, like the equivalent of that in real life is walking into your room, opening the door, and having just money fall. Like, why am I
Yeah.
still here in Russia when I could literally purchase a country?
or
you
you,
know,
could
like-
just buy a helicopter and leave Tarkov, and then escape it and win.
Yeah.
You
Well,
clearly
that,
don't know the lore of Tarkov. You'd get
It's a
shot
it's a
down.
no-fly zone. I'm sorry, Anton.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, why are there all these fly hackers then? How come they're not getting shot down? That's all I know. That's against the law. This is bullshit. When they did that thing where you could buy everything for cheap and the scopes were bugged out, I filled up my entire inventory with cash for a laugh. And it was ridiculous. Like I was trying to buy gear and it's like, you have no space left. And it's like, yeah, but I have 100 million rubles, like over 100 million rubles. It's like, why are you doing this to me, Tarkov? Why do you hate me?
But yeah, again, when you have a hideout, so if there's a hideout and there's also the ability to do like the one-click loadouts like they talked about, which I don't even know. Didn't they say with the hideout like there wouldn't be like you wouldn't have the same trader system? I don't know. Maybe those two things. I don't know if they thought those through or not, or if I'm not familiar with how they're planning on implementing it. But it effectively makes the whole like EOD stash size thing completely irrelevant because you don't have physical things taking up grid space, and also you don't have the whole cache thing that we talked about.
So but is there going to be like containers inside the hideout? So like you get like a stash container for guns, you get one for like meds and stuff. Is that how that's going to work? And you'll have to upgrade them because like if you can, that it sort of just doesn't really make any sense to me how that's going to work because if there's a stash container like on the ground for meds and I fill it up, couldn't I just pull them all out, put them in my inventory, and then just dump them on the ground, and then I'll just have a wheelbarrow of meds?
It's got to be like you walk up to a crate, like you're gonna have a bunch of containers similar to like if you go in a shoreline and there's a weapon case, you open it up and there's like a grid. It's gonna be like that where you can't like drop your stuff on the ground, otherwise maybe it'll like poof if you leave and come back. It's probably just a bunch of cases where you can keep stuff. And oh my god, moving items back and forth, you'd probably have to like put it on your person, walk over to the thing, put it in there, walk over.
I like that stuff. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
It'll remind. It'll be like Arma.
See,
like Arma.
What I would prefer then is just one box that I could just dump everything into, and then it auto sorts it throughout all the other boxes in the room.
Yeah, like a dump box, or like it takes everything off when you get out, when you come back in. Maybe a backpack gets emptied.
It should just be a grid system like we have now, but it gets represented in the real world. So like a bunch of different sections where it's like, here's your gun wall or a gun case, and you put something in the gun case, and then once you leave, you look on the wall and it's on the gun case. Like you're not actually interacting with items in the world, maybe? I don't know.
I'm gonna put so many hilarious guns up on my wall if that's the case. Definitely the 9 flashlight AK is taking pride of place there.
That would add a whole new mechanic to the game of like collecting, because like you could have one of every gun on the wall. Like that would be super, super cool. And I would want to have like a checklist that I'd want to get one of and build a bunch of different ones. And that would be super holy shit.
Yeah. I really like that idea. I'd want to, because it'd be like in Skyrim. I remember building like shitloads of those mannequins, and then I'd go and get all the insane armor sets and put them all on there, and I'd hang all the dope Daedric maces and stuff like that when I wasn't terrorizing the locals with them, hang them off my walls and shit like that, and then fill up my entire home with plates so that when I load in, it just lag the fuck out and crash my Xbox. So
that was a fun game.
Yeah, that was a good game.
If I could do my cat collection, that'd make me happy. 712 cats just everywhere. Just thrown around everywhere.
Anton, I lost my best save of Skyrim because I launched a fireball inside of a house and there was too many moving objects and it just corrupted my save.
Wow.
That's what Pestyly's stash would be like Oblivion, when you used to be able to like dupe scrolls and shit, and you would just like enter the command in and all of a sudden it would like freeze. And then a mountain of things would just appear. That's what Pestyly's would just be filled with fucking cats. You'd walk in and you just have to like swim through.
Well, I've got two right. I've got two right there. So.
Yeah.
This better not turn into a Skyrim nostalgia cast.
What was your
I have a question.
What's up, man?
How come you have a map of England in the background when you're from Australia?
That?
Yeah.
You're from America,
England's massive in that, mate.
Or for of Europe.
Europe. Because in 2020, I'm going to Europe.
All right. I remember I thought you were British because you had that map. But you're actually
nice accent, bro.
Guns and teeth. We might upset Prophet.
Awesome, Marsh. He'll,
You better
he'll get the queen onto us.
So next patch is meant to have a heap of new. Well, it's meant to have the new map, killer, and a shitload of guns, effectively. And that's meant to be out before the end of the year. So they've got 3 weeks, unless they do it, the last couple of days of the year. So they got 3.5 weeks. Terra Labs is meant to be a map with the new scavs, being the Raider scavs. I'm super excited for the fact that there's going to be a new type of scav. I'm petrified that they're going to rape us multiple times over in every direction possible.
100%.
They're going to be like arms like this, but the guns like behind them, and then they'll like shoot us through 3 walls. But I'm excited to see a new map, and they've actually started saying in their most recent facts that they're going to start pumping out a lot of maps quickly, which is exciting stuff. I have a few.
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
Yeah.
Well, in their defense on that one, Interchange, when it first came out, while it was laggy, it was only as laggy as Shoreline was at the time. But they got Interchange up to scratch pretty quick compared to Shoreline. Like, Shoreline still is apparently on their old optimization, doesn't run as well as Interchange. And Interchange didn't take that long to get up and going.
So Interchange.
No, Interchange ran the best immediately after they released it, but then they did another optimization patch, and it brought Interchange back to worse than Shoreline. Interchange runs worse than any other map for me.
When they first launched Interchange,
Really?
they had no
runs fine
scavs.
for me.
Interchange had no scavs when they first implemented it. That's why.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
it's the scavs, I think, that are causing the frame drops.
They did do another patch though, which broke like the Mantis area. You get like 30 frames there now.
Yeah. Maybe it's just my computer.
You're on the wrong side of the planet. Everything's backwards over there, man.
True.
Yeah, of
And
course.
upside down.
That explains my dick butt.
So everything I know about Terra Labs right now is it's 4 times the size of Factory. They got the Raider scavs, but I don't know anything about where it fits in the Tarkov world. Like,
it's a secret underground laboratory. That's basically it. I think the cool thing is they're gonna have like, I think they clean talked about this. They're gonna have key cards, and you're gonna be able to breach through doors with explosives. So it's gonna
That's
have like
awesome.
new features. I don't know if that'll be at launch, but it will be eventually, which is pretty cool.
you just know someone's breached because the service like just freezes for like a minute.
You get 1 frame.
Well, you'll know if it's a glass door.
I think the Raider scavs will be maybe one of the. It's either going to be one of the best things they do for the game, or horrifyingly bad. But right now, think of like the scavs as like they're just a bunch of sliders, right? Like they have a different perception value. They can see a certain distance. They have a certain delta to how accurate they are. They have a visual distance. They have a distance at which they're gonna aggro you at, and a distance based on the type of gun they're gonna shoot you, or not. Those values, I think the engine that they built is actually pretty damn well done. They just need to find the right value. So back in the beginning of the last patch, when scavs were completely and utterly broken, they were super smart, super aggressive, and they had like just never missed. So then they dialed them back to now they're super aggressive, completely and utterly inept when it comes to perception, and their aim is probably worse than it should be. If they make them so that their perception is more realistic and that their aim is a little bit better and they keep them more aggressive. Imagine a super aggressive group of 6 scavs coming at you that all had not amazing accuracy, but like when there's 6 people all shooting at you, missing half of their shots, that's a shit ton of bullets that are hitting you. You know what I mean? Like that would make for great immersive, fun gameplay. Not getting insta-tapped by the first one and not standing there while they're spraying the ground in front of you and you're just like, what's going on?
Well, we touched on this in the last podcast when the fact that you don't need to make scavs more difficult by being more instant aimbody, but having them more immersive in the way that maybe when a scav's activated, the reason why they're difficult is they actually activate. They yell out a command, and then other scavs from different areas hear the command and start running over and then flanking you, and they're working together as a team to to fuck up your
That
day.
would be cool.
And instead of them just being like, oh, this guy's like, a Terminator scav and he's just instant one tapping you, they've got scavs that are just got more, say, I don't know the word for it, but more authority in the area and drag more scavs to fight you. And you can easily, like, say Anton downs 10 scavs on one side of the map. There's nothing to say that they can't put in the code that, okay, now 10 scavs have died, make sure you spawn 5 more on the other side. So there's still
backup scavs.
Yeah, still scavs to play and to shoot at. Because if you just draw all the scavs into one area, then there's no more scavs in the map. That's kind of like, well, the map's kind of boring now. So you could actually balance it out by, for every 3 scavs die, 1 or 2 respawn kind of thing, and they're just in different areas.
Do you guys think that scavs should be? I took a step back the other day and tried to think about if I was being fair and honest with how hard scavs are or should be. And one of the things I was thinking about, like if you're running along a road and there's a PMC at the end of the road, 50 meters away, you only have a couple of seconds before they're gonna just spray you down and kill you. If that was a scav, I'd be like angry and would call bullshit on it, right? Maybe that's not fair. Or maybe it's too easy to shoot people as PMCs.
Yeah.
And scavs are, the shitty scavs are more realistic when they're missing half their shots. I mean, that's how it would be.
That's like my thing on the last patch. I sort of thought like, yeah, they're fine, but the problem is that most people are treating them like they're scavs. They need to be treated like players. And last patch, they were killable as players. One thing was that they were shooting through walls. If they weren't doing that, then they'd be fine. Last patch, I think they just need to be treated with respect. Like if you come up to a
sensory perception, then yeah,
100%.
Now it's the slush show.
I'm in the center.
Look at this handsome bastard.
Flex him up.
Welcome, Ghost.
I think you can fix the layout.
Do you know how?
I think you can just move the screens you want. Can't you?
You're gonna want to put Ghost Freak in the middle because he's the. Well, actually,
Can we
Anton.
get a yeet?
Anton.
Can we get a yeet? I want a keyboard yeet.
No. No keyboard yeets. I'm too tired for that.
How's your wall?
It's pretty much got a hole in it. You see?
I saw briefly in like a highlight video a clip. It was only for like 2 seconds where all I saw was like a keyboard disintegrate against the wall, and I have no other context. I feel like I missed something.
It's 2 of them. They were broken, so I sent them to the rubbish bin.
To Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went to Warriors' death.
So we were just talking about the Raiders, Ghost, and
I was listening on the phone all the way. Yeah.
But yes.
Oh my gosh.
With the Terra Labs, I think the Raiders could be sick, and I'm really keen for it. It's just the balance between AI and being stupid and too intelligent it's such a fine line, because you don't want to piss people off because it's just too hard, but at the same time, it's so easy to just make them too easy.
Yeah.
I think they just need like a relatable intelligence where they don't seem overpowered just because they insta-tap you. They seem overpowered because they outsmart you. Like if you get outplayed by a scav, then you're going to feel fine. But if you get just aimbotted by a scav where it's like he just sits there and holds an angle and then just one taps you the second you peek, it's sort of, it's a bit different. Like it's not it's a different feeling.
It's like,
well, they do something different every time. So sometimes they're more easy than other times. Like Scav Boss, it honestly depends on like their movement. It's not like a single player game where the AI do the same thing over and over again, and the devs have like balanced them to that area. The Scavs are different every time. So that
I think all the Scavs should be like the Scav Boss. Like, yeah,
the Scavs
super aggressive.
Yeah.
If they're in a when they're all in a group, I think all of the scavs should push you hard. Like if there's 3 at con, I think they should push you hard because they've got the backup of their mates. But if you slaughter 2 of them and there's 1 left, like that dude is probably going to hide. Like I think that'd be the best way to do it. Like have a just sort of like strength in numbers sort of feeling to them where they show more aggression when they're like backed up by their boys, that kind of
Even-
thing.
Yeah,
even when they're-
have them more coordinated.
Even when they're not the like most smartest scavs, when you get like a wave of 5 or 6 scavs coming at you, and you've got to like quickly like take a few shots, maybe have to do a quick like attack reload. You don't have time to heal, even though you've been legged, and you're just trying to dive for cover. That's fun, and I think that's where they've got to find the good balance. If these Raiders guys just sprint up to us and just like, and Pestyly's dead.
Yeah.
They need
I
to
think
have
it's
the
just. Oh, sorry. No, I think it's just the RNG on the whole, how it feels on the hits, because they do zoom in onto one body part, and then the difference
Yeah.
between the normal scavs and the bodyguards for Reshala is essentially it's shotguns that we face with normal scavs, and then it's 74Ms or AKS ends that they take us on. So they're full auto power versus shotgun power. And when they have full auto guns, I don't know if you guys ever run into a 74M normal scav that has a 74M.
They're pretty much the
And
same.
it's exactly the same. They also just go for one body limb, and then they shoot you 7 times in the arm with whatever the ammo they got, and it feels like you're being lasered.
because they probably don't have recoil. Like, I don't know about the whole hit
It's
scan.
hit scan.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
scan.
there needs to be more of a spread, and they probably need to revamp their algorithm for how they aim. Like, really, there should be they either will be aiming for your head or your chest like 90-something% of the time in like a real scenario, and there needs to be a deviation and a recoil with every bullet after that. Like, they just need a simple engine for handling that. I mean, even just a
Just
naive one.
Give them VATs. Just run with that.
Extra percentage chance of
You're
hitting you.
running, and all of a sudden and everything slows down. You're like, okay,
Damn it.
no,
Yeah.
shit.
And then
Oh.
and then all you hear is ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god, those grenades kill me. They're some of the grenades
Yeah.
I've had recently.
They're frustrating, man. They are really frustrating.
So I don't know if you guys ever thought about this, right? So I went back with when I streamed with my viewers, and we checked back what they said at the end of last year, 2018. I don't know if you guys went through that, what they said was going to happen this year, and how much of those stuff actually happened.
You're talking about the
And how much of the
roadmap,
stuff actually
2018
got-
roadmap?
Yeah,
Came out on the 1st of
2018
March.
roadmap.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, 1st of March, yeah.
Yep.
But did you guys see the roadmap for that though? If you look back at it, how much of that was implemented?
I
Uh-oh.
mean, the
Oh,
only thing
that's
missing is
why-
Hideout, right? Or
I don't
is
want to
it
do
other
this
stuff?
retrospective. It's going to be sad. See how many points we left that we're going to have to carry over to the next sprint.
We should
slush.
look at it. Can you pull it up?
Yeah. You
I'll find it.
honestly have to go look at it quick. But from what as I went through it, some of the stuff 100%, right? But some of the more detailed stuff had to be kicked over to 2019 or this year, but it wasn't even mentioned. So I don't know. That's why I'm afraid of this year's stuff. I'm kind of, lost on what's coming on the next stuff.
So we've got time-consuming mag loading, which they've implemented, but there's no animations.
No animations.
Animations for meds, supplies, food, and consumables. That's complete.
We got that.
Off-raid treatment
Off-raid.
and parameters recovery. That's meant to be coming with the hideouts.
No.
Yeah.
So that's been pushed back to next year.
So they could still make that.
Yeah.
Well, the hideout
It's-
could come this year.
No, it's next year.
Next year. The end of next year.
The hideout is the end of next year.
Yes, only the end of next year. It's not.
This
It's
is
not.
the beginning.
No, it says
I thought it was. I thought it
No.
was the next patch.
highly likely next
you go.
year.
No, I
Matt.
misread.
You read it.
Oh, we're talking about the notes. Sorry.
Yeah, the notes. So the notes
Okay.
say the end. Hideout is 90% done, and Voip is 90% done for next year of 2019. So,
So,
obviously they need to give us the maps first before they give us Hideout.
Mhm.
Basically, yeah.
we got this. We got the
It's gonna
smoke
be a
grenades.
central hub.
There's one smoke grenade. I kind of wish there was a second. It's your typical smoke grenade. The underbarrel grenade
Remington.
launches. No.
Underground. Do you remember that, Veritas? The grenade launchers.
What about him?
How we used them once, and the server crashed every time you shot it. I mean, Slushy, you
It
also
was last
used
year. It was last year. It wasn't this year.
it.
Yeah. I used them
Wait,
before I streamed.
Is this a meme?
No.
What?
Alpha
You never
days.
used them?
You didn't
Alpha
use it?
days.
Dude, I started playing this game in January.
Oh,
No, this
You
was
weed little lad.
20,
guys had grenade
2017.
yeah. In the
Yeah.
beginning, they were in the end.
Yeah, you go into factory with them, and you shoot one, and they just crash the whole server, man.
Killed
I,
everything.
I played like fucking 4 raids, man, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, so it was just like the dumbest thing ever. Or you shoot a grenade launcher and just kill everyone on the map.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Holy shit. How did I not know this?
Yeah, they were in the
Of course.
game, man. Yeah.
I had no idea.
There was a mass rule never to use them on the race, but there was always this one guy. You could hear it just
Yeah.
and then the whole server just would die. God damn it! Someone used the grenade launcher.
Yeah,
It was so unstable, and this was with the old animations and everything. But yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't even get to shoot one, man. Like when I first started playing, I had to buy the second edition from the bottom to get access to the alpha. I started playing and I kept dying over and over again. At the time, I didn't even know what I was dying to. I was like, this game's just fucking broken. And then I kept loading into raids and just kept insta dying, or the server just kept crashing. And then later in time, I realized that it was just grenade launchers, and there was just people using grenade launchers. I played like 5 raids, and I was like, this game sucks. I'm waiting for Australian servers, and then just stopped playing until like October last year.
On that list, it says voice over IP, and that's meant to be coming next year as well. I actually really excited for voice over IP.
I am
Me
I want-
too.
pumped.
I just think
I reckon it's gonna be wicked.
I know there's like really cool like situations you can use the in-game audio for, but I actually think like as long as I can turn it off when some dickhead's saying something stupid.
I only want it
Yeah.
for the memes.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's let's face it, as a streamer, it's a content farm. It's nothing
yeah.
else. Like I am not gonna be in there going, hey man, want to team up. I'm gonna be like, hey man, can I come in there and finger you? And then they just gonna be like,
Okay.
what?
Wait, what?
It's gonna go real dark real quick. It's not gonna be any normal content on that shit.
The immersion that you have when you're about to breach a door and you hear like a bear like like mumbling in his Russian, and instead it's going to be like, stop, and you're going to hear, hey man,
All I'm gonna do is. All I'm gonna do is.
the Wiggles are going to be like,
I'm just gonna ask, hey, are you sub to ghostfreak double six on Twitch? And he's like, no. You did. Sorry, brother. You did.
Yeah.
Go sub to live.
Yeah, I think I'll do raids. I think I'm gonna do one night a week where I just do full operator mode, where I go in, and if I see someone, I'm just gonna be like, identify yourself, and then just like go full like learn some insane army lingo, and then just run around like that, just doing those things. I reckon that'd be pretty fun.
We could do it as a team.
Yeah.
5-man clear.
Yeah, 5-man clears. Yeah,
Get on the ground. Drop
yeah.
your shit.
Drop your weapon.
the other person where you hear like 5 people fucking just screaming, and you're like a hatchling in the
Yeah, and then you just hear,
Oh no, bitch. Drop it. Drop it. And just 5 people light him up.
Yeah. I can't wait to just be laying on a hill next to someone and just be like, I'm gonna punch this guy's time card. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. He's gonna be insanely fun. I think it's gonna be really cool. And I can't wait for my first encounter with Sheriff Eli with it, because he's funny as hell on the voice comms.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it does open up the route for shitlords to be friggin' annoying. Like you're gonna get stream snipers have a whole new power now. which is frustrating for streamers. It's not so much like it's not a general population thing, but god damn it,
But you
it's
can
gonna be
literally
frustrating.
if it's like PUBG, just Control M turns it off, and then you just have fun. Like you just go back to playing, just totally ignore it, and you know, and just pretend you don't even hear it because you won't. Effectively.
Yeah. Well,
Just have that hotkeyed. I'll have that macro
I mean,
straight away.
the Rust players, the Rust streamers also had the same problem, but you know, it kind of, it's not going to be too hard on us.
I think
At the end of the day, it was really hard for them, but they got it to a point where they weren't being punished for shit people were saying as well.
But there'll be
because they were reacting
situations
on it.
where you'll be like, I don't know, you'll see a guy and he's just unlocking your door to like 203 or some shit. Like 203 or some shit, and then you'll just be like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And he'll be like, "I just wanted to make quest, man." I'm like, "All right, continue on," and just like go about your day.
That would be epic, yeah.
You know, and then there'll be people who will be like, you actually will be able to support other people or bump into random people and be like, you could literally just be like, "Hey man, I just found an M4. You can have it if I can go." Like, you know, like I'm gonna take it anyway.
They need to make the range of the audio be realistic in that, like, I want to be able to be like, help from safe
it
room.
won't be.
My
It won't be.
forklift. Yeah, I know. I want to be able to hear that and like run to somebody's fucking aid who's like, help me.
Oh man, that's gonna be ridiculous.
Best
Help!
ever.
Help! I'm being oppressed. Oh man.
The oppression is too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the idea.
I just can't wait to do a Hatchets Unite raid and just like run in, just being like, "Get in, boys!" And then like 5 of us just burst out of the factory room, just going, yeah.
Oh,
It'd be so right, so wicked. Yeah.
Well, like, you know, in those situations where you're in factory or you're somewhere on a map and they don't hear you, and you can like sneak up behind someone and just be like,
Yeah.
"Hello."
See, I had one of those a while back where that guy was creep walked in front of me and I hatcheted him in the back of the head. If I had that, like if I had Voip in the game, I would have just been like, "Boo," and they killed him. Yeah,
Back of the head.
Yeet! And he's just like, shits his pants, man.
Jumping through.
Yeah,
And then fly
yeah.
over. That's me.
Yeah, that's what I want, man. I want that. I want my energy transferred into the game, bro. I think that'd be really
Still
fucking
I
got
don't
cool.
know what to say.
I'll be
Voip will be
definitely
great.
stream shot every single time.
I don't know. I
Someone would.
I already know there's a lot of people against Voip, but I think overall it's going to be it's going to bring more funny situations than toxic. I think overall.
Yeah, I agree. When I played Scalmer, it was fine. There was
Oh, dude, it was amazing.
no toxic people in there. It was fine. It was all good.
I remember watching Anton actually playing Scum, and I was like, it was like he just was running along, and then there's these like 3 guys from America, and they had like the strongest American accent lingo going on, and they're like, "You boy,
Oh,
you boy, you put that down now, boy," and I was just like,
What? What?
and then I think Anton
Come here, little
threw his like, I don't know, pitchfork or something at him, and
Yeah, he threw a hatchet in my head, and I pulled it out of my head and threw it back at him.
See, that's funny. We need that.
Voip is going to change the dynamic of the game because now it's actually going to be easier to squad up with someone than just going, "Hey, want to team up?" And then the guy just goes, "Suka!" You know, wrong fucking voice note, and you're just like, I wonder if he's friendly. Look around the corner, it's just this Fort Alton guy looking at you, and you're like, he's friendly. But
It's
no.
gonna. I think it
No.
also introduces some more like humanity to like if you have somebody just like wiggle and be like, hold your fire, hold your fire, hold your fire. Like you already know where they're coming from. But if you decide to like let them live, it's almost like more anonymous. Whereas if you have the microphone and you can talk, it's a little bit more of a connection to where like I bet you some percentage of people who would turn on you without Voip won't because of the guilt factor
Yeah.
with Voip.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
definitely.
they've got to give
Social
you
experiment.
They've got to give you at least 3 seconds after death to make your death animation noises. Like I just.
Oh yeah, you can Voip when you fall, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, that's
I know
when that N-words would come out, and you know it.
Yeah. I know exactly what mine's gonna be. It's gonna be the noise from Stick Death. Do you guys remember that? Stick Death? Every time. Yeah. Yeah. I'd have
Oh
to
my
be,
God.
man. Yeah.
Can I just
Or
get a oof
a
for
massive
Anton?
rory.
Yeah. I want to oof for Anton
Oof.
as soon as
Now
he
you gotta
dies.
yeet on everyone.
Yeet. As I die. Yeet.
Yeetus deletus.
Lutos.
Yeah. All it's gonna be is just like you kill people and it's just like, I'm gonna DDoS you. It's, okay.
Mom.
Yeah. Shroud, come in my ass, Shroud.
Why do heck?
Yeah,
Why
it's
do
like-
heck? Why do heck?
Yeah.
My dad works for BHG. He's gonna get you banned.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like, I think it's gonna be a lot of it, but I think most of it will be pretty fun. Like there's enough memes for people to not run out of them within 6 months. So hopefully they don't resort to blatant racism.
Voice memes are gonna be the end game. That is
Mm.
the goal of Tarkov to
Yeah.
become the memer.
Once you unlock Wooloo, then you're the top max level, man.
The Zulu
that?
warriors are gonna be coming for you.
Might just get all
Yeah,
the Age of
yeah.
Empires, like Age of Empires 2 sounds, and just like keybind them so I can just be
Oh.
like, yeah, just like, just all the random
Well, I
ones.
already know that I'm going to be using my voice changer to do raids as Satan. So I mean,
Okay.
that's my content set for a year. So I'm good.
Suicide animations coming in. It's Satan.
Oh my god. I want
Golden
that more than
GT.
anything.
When are we
I
gonna
want
be able
that
to
more
cook
than anything.
grenades? Why can we not cook grenades?
In what world do you cook
Oh,
grenades?
Dude. Wait, just hold up,
Cooking
hold up.
grenades not realism? I didn't know. I
Uh,
No.
Would
they
you?
frown
Would you?
upon it. Yeah, would you
Would
want to
I?
keep? Yeah.
Well, if
A grenade has, and I if I fuck this, I'm gonna look like a douche. But the Australian
yes.
F1 grenade is 3.5 to 4.5 second timer. Is it 3.5 to
You're right.
4.5 or 4.5 to 5.5? But I'm fairly confident it's 3.5 to 4.5. So if you cook it for
3.5.
like a second, and that's just like a gauge. It's not like hard and fast. So it's like you literally
Yeah.
throw it. The barrel comes off the top of the grenade in the air, and you've got 3.5 to 4.5 seconds before it's going to blow up. If that blows up at 2 seconds, that's a success in the army size. Like,
Yeah.
Man, there's no way I'd cook an F1 in real life, man. That's got like a 30-meter kill radius, man. It's like
they're,
fuck that.
they've got a 6 mil lethal, 15 mil. Sorry, 6 meter lethal, 15 meter danger, and then 30 meter casualty, something like that. So you can get fragged up to 30 meters.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. The shrapnel, like the shrapnel on is insane, man. Like it's
Oh, and it's a main weapon at that range too. It's not a.
it would ruin your day, man. Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah, no,
I don't
Anton,
know.
you're not going to cook grenades in real life. I personally, I would not. And
Boo!
in the real army, no, unless the American army
You're
does
also
it.
not going to do half of the shit you do in here, like fucking kick down a door when you know somebody's in the room and start spraying. Like, you're not gonna, but what I would do, I'd be more likely in real life to take a grenade and pop the pin off, open the door, toss it in, and fucking run. Like, I'd be way more likely to do that than.
Yeah.
So what-
well, they need those
Yeah.
breach animations for that.
You'd open the door.
They really need the.
The bomb man would
hold
open
the door
the door.
shut
Yeah.
so they can't open it.
So in real life, you'd actually have a
Wow.
breach man,
Cool.
a bomber. So the one guy would open the door and throw the grenade and hold the door shut, and then they'd have another guy ready to go to breach into the door. You'd never stand ever square onto a door, kick it, and go through. Like, I'm sorry, but if you were on the other side of that door, you'd just shoot straight through the wooden door and kill the person.
And it's
I
also the
would,
kicker,
but-
remember the guy that goes in anyway first.
I would, but I'm
kicks them clear.
bulletproof on the front side of me, so I'm good.
No, yeah.
Backs, yeah. I'm the opposite of a turtle, man. I have a hard underbelly.
It'd be like that scene from Band of Brothers where they toss the grenade into the house, and then the guy runs in and opens the door before the grenade goes off and just gets his own face fucking peppered. That's exactly how that would go, though.
Yeah.
So what about with the,
But,
the mines that they're putting in, the bouncing betties and shit?
Oh,
Apparently they're on
It's-
trip. I'm gonna
they,
meme
they
this.
have
Fortnite work
everything.
like
They have
everything else.
everything for it.
Trip area. Trip area
Yeah.
or trip. Like,
No,
what are we
they have
talking?
everything set up as your wire trip, right? In the model, you see your wire, you see everything, right? I don't think it's gonna work like the old step. You know, it's not gonna be buried.
Can't be
Essentially,
buried.
you're gonna see this thing. Can't be buried. It can only be buried in woods or ground and whatnot. But a bouncing betty that's gonna be used, how I think it's gonna be used, is gonna be you're gonna see this little. It's gonna look like a can standing up with a little top on it, wire and another stick. I don't know how visible this wire is gonna be, but that's essentially how it's gonna look. It's not gonna be impossible to see this thing. It's just gonna be a bitch for someone like me that runs,
What?
because I'm gonna yeet over it.
My thing about it is a door's gonna trigger it, because if I'd want to put them on the inside of doors, I reckon. That's where I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna put the tripwire at the base of a door that gets open, and when someone opens the door, it trips the wire. That's what I would want to do. Like, I'm not gonna leave it in a hallway. Like, people are gonna be able to see it so easily. And maybe in night raids, might not see it. We might like put it in some rubbish bags on shoreline or something like that. Maybe like it doesn't seem as though it's gonna be that effective.
It's the two. Well, listen, bouncing betties, they call bouncing betties for a reason as well. This thing jumps up.
Oh
When
no,
set
I
off.
understand how that works. Yeah. Yeah, and they make that
there's two
ridiculous
mines.
noise in COD.
Oh yeah.
There needs to be a chance that it goes off when you plant it too. There needs to be a risk reward.
Really?
Are you serious?
Nah.
Just like,
That's too hard, bro.
oh,
based
hi.
on your skill, like just like fumbling a grenade, that needs to be a fucking mechanic, dude. I'm telling you.
No way.
At level 1, you're gonna,
Nah.
Anton does 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I'll put
Nah,
money on it.
Whoa.
That's the most.
It'd be like
if-
COD where you can go prone on bouncing betties and live every time.
Yeah. Just dive under it. If they put in a mechanic where I have a chance to just like pull the pin on a grenade and die instantly, then I'm gonna be yeeting way more keyboards than Ghost is, man. I love throwing grenades, and if there's a chance that I just pull the pin on one and they just insta die, or just cook it, just
Fumble.
limp wrist it right at my feet,
Just
I'll be
fumble
so
it.
pissed off. That'd be the dumbest thing ever, man. I got my gun jammed the other day during a firefight, and I like lost it, and I never lose it. Like, I was like, the fuck is this? Like, it was just like bullshit, man. You can't have random stuff like that. It's just
I like
it's
the
just
gun
the worst.
jams. Don't you hate on the gun jams?
No, I like the gun.
Yeah.
I like the gun jams, but not when they're just like random. Because I sprayed once, it jammed. I got one bullet out, and then I sprayed again after clearing the jam. 2 bullets, insta jam. It's like, what's this gun been? Is it full of peanut butter? Like, it's
Yeah, when it happens, it'll
Yeah.
keep happening.
I was on Woods the other day,
Oh,
yeah.
just to talk about really frustrating situations. I was on Woods killing scavs. I got like a heap of task items. This is during the 1 to 40. Had a heap of task items. I was like, yeah, I'm killing it. And then I went to heal, and I got stuck in that unlimited. So the
Healing animation.
healing animation loop. I'm like, all right, I'm bleeding. I've got to get out, and I'm running to the extract. 2 player scavs like hit me, take out both my legs. So now I'm actually going slower too. I kill them like
Oh my
instantly. I did like the quickest spin, kill them too. I'm like, sweet, I could still make the distance. It was like 50 to 100 meters from the extract, bleeding, both legs blacked out. And then the game crashed on me. So, and I had to
Oh my
like rejoin
God.
into the game. Got back into the game. I had like 40 HP left. I'm like slowly like getting there. It's like, there, like 10 meters from the extract. I was like so mad. Like everything
Oh my
couldn't go
gosh.
like wrong any more than that. I was just like, it was like, just to add to frustration moments.
Yeah. No, it's
I think, look,
what's
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
guys, they need to be limited. You can't just have. If I can go into a raid with 40 fucking mines, and I can put these down everywhere, and then just sit back and overwatch this whole area I've turned into a minefield. Then like
It'd be a bit savage.
it's a bit savage.
It's gonna be pretty hardcore, man.
Oh, but
I'm gonna
they
be walking around with a mine detector.
So fun.
in my
So
wheelchair from the scavs with a mine detector.
my question I have there,
Great.
why don't people do if that is really super OP? Why don't people do that in real life, or do they do?
They
right?
do.
Like,
So
They do.
mines in real
they
life,
do. It's
depending on the war,
Yeah.
the area in the world you are. Anywhere there's a minefield is generally overwatched by something. So you actually try and the mines aren't to kill, they're to maim. Because then once you maim someone, then everyone else has to support that maimed person. And generally they're overwatched by fire. So you have someone sitting on in a position of to be able to see that. Once people try to help them out, they already know they're in minefield, so they're fucked anyway. And then you can fuck them up that way. So that's why I was actually use that reference of I'd actually lay a minefield and then overwatch it.
yeah.
They're not outlawed
Well,
though. They only plastic mines are outlawed.
Plastic mines are
by the Geneva Convention, but people still use them.
That's a good question. Actually.
obviously they do.
Is it? Does anyone know if you can actually defuse the mines, bouncing betties and that?
Yeah, you can.
No, in the game, I'm talking.
Oh no, well, no, I don't know. I mean, you can shoot it.
Yeah.
You
Does
can
it go
shoot
off? Because I've seen videos of people shooting grenades and they don't go off before.
I don't.
So
Yeah.
would a Claymore go
You're
off? If you shot it?
destroying. Well, it's different. Claymore has
Plastic.
backed. Yeah. So I mean,
It needs a det. A Claymore needs
it
a
needs
det
a
to blow it.
detonator to go off.
Yeah.
But you can shoot it and break it. That's the thing. The thing with the thing about claymores are they for ambush and not mainly attack. You're not going to go in, plant it, and be like, okay, cool, let's fight. It's more of a defensive, ambush typey thing. You need to sit there with a clacker. You can't. And what Nikita said, you're not just going to Call of Duty this shit and just place it down and it's over. It's going to take you a set amount of time. Plus, I don't think you're going to be able to carry so many of them because I think it's going to have individual parts. It's going to have the claymore, the wire, the clacker. So it's going to take a lot of space. Yeah. If they want to balance it. But let's not talk about balancing.
Can we all agree that when the nades come in and they have tripwires, that we're all gonna make a concerted effort to make a YouTube video of people getting killed on their own landmines? Because I'm really keen for that.
I would dedicate.
Yeah.
But like,
I forgot where it applies to.
you need to have a clumsiness rating that starts off at mastery, and as you level up, it goes downwards. So that your first time laying a claymore is a fucking coin flip, whether that shit's gonna blow up in your face or not.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay,
guys,
I lost, guys, get away, take my gear, dump my gear, and just leave it and just
Here comes
everywhere.
the PMC legally blonde, for God's sake. That's gonna be ridiculous, man.
so
Are we getting remote detonated ones, or is it just fucking tripwire?
tripwire,
Oh, I want
wire
remote
and
ones, damn it.
clacker.
Yeah, I want to
Claymore's a
remote.
remote, right?
Then there's 3 mines that I've seen,
Claymores are
right?
they can get them remote, but they're the ones that they're actually implementing. You'll actually have a cord, and the cord will at the end of the cord you'll actually have the clacker. So you have to be within 30 meters of the Claymore.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool,
That'd be
like
cool.
if they implement like splines to have the cord follow you around and stuff. So if someone sees the mine and then sees the cord, they can get your location and stuff like that. That'd be fucking cool.
There's so many cool situations you could use a Claymore in real life as well. Like you could, the shoreline, for example. Everyone's going for 310. You could literally just put it in that hallway, aiming at the 310 door in that wire rubbish bit. Sit in the room next to it. As soon as you hear that unlocking noise, clack it. Bam. Person never had a chance.
Shazam. It'd be cool if you could aim them up, like put them through, like aiming up at the holes in the floor and stuff as well. So when people like jump over them, you can just like blow their nuts off. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We should like just.
Yeah. I'm actually afraid of. So the Claymore, I understand it's not going to be OP. It's the same as the thermal thing, the thermal scope, and there are more thermal scopes coming. I'm not afraid of them, but the thing with the bouncing Betty is it takes away you needing to be close to it.
So how
So
does
if
a
you see a
bouncing Betty
Claymore-
beat that?
You're gonna leave the raid with a bunch of kills. You're like, where the fuck did all these kills come from? Because there's no like hit marker indication.
Just hit in
Yeah.
a distance, you just hear an explosion.
Yeah, but do you reckon Vietnam vets are still getting hit marker indications for all of the people that they're maiming through the years, mate? Like it's
That's a whole other
That's-
discussion.
that's super grim.
We need to make it normal. We need to make a normal podcast. So back in Vietnam. Vietnam. Yeah.
My issue is, hopefully they make it so the Leatherman has a purpose and we can cut the cords or the tripwires or something. But it depends on how the cords are wired, because a trip flare, if you cut the cord, it would still go off. So, but I understand, like, if you can't deactivate the mine, imagine just outside the door of factory, you're extracting factory, you just put the mine in and you walk out. No one can get out unless they've got a key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty savage.
Has to be a way of deactivating. But yeah, I'm actually excited to see some new guns being added for a change, like the RPK, the HK416, the Remington, and the civilian versions of the AR-15. What's this? It says that
I'm really keen for the HK. I think the RPK is going to be a bit of a letdown, to be honest. Like it's just a bigger AK.
is it the 545 variant or the?
It's
Yeah,
the
it's a
555 variant. The drums are going to be cool, but like they're not that exciting. It's just a drum mag. I don't know.
94 rounds.
I don't think they're going to be the greatest thing in the world. I think they're going to be a little bit of a letdown just because of the fact that they are just a big AK. They'll probably have less recoil and less ergonomics. Is my thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to being able to have a squad and having a person have a role as the gunner. Like, all right, if we get in contact, I'm just going to put... You don't even have to use good ammo. Really, you could just use, like, I don't know, PS or holy points even. And then just, like...
Yeah.
Traces.
BT.
And then just...
BT.
Why not?
And then just use suppress. And just use a one person just to put buckets of bullets down.
The problem with suppression in this game, though, is that it's the current meta to when you're fighting people to wiggle like PUBG, man. Like, yeah, if you sit still for even a second, you sort of just get tapped because people aren't afraid to die like they would be in real life. So they don't duck down under suppressing fire. If they're gonna have like a legit suppressing fire sort of mechanic, I think the suppression on your character when he's under heavy fire needs to be a lot heavier. Like you do get suppressed right now. I mean, you get the black sort of rim around your screen, and you get like shaky aim, but it needs to be a lot greater if they're gonna add like a full suppression mechanic to the game.
Yeah, I only ever noticed that in the first couple of days when you're like level 1, level 2, level 3. That like totally forget about that whole tunnel vision mechanic until it's like literally after the first couple of days of a wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the RPK, I don't think it would be a very efficient suppression weapon. Also, just because of the extraordinary fire rate of it, like it's not a suppression weapon just because the fire rate is so high on it. Like if you want a good suppression weapon, you want something like a saw or a what are they called?
Mag 58 or something.
What are the pigs called?
240 Bravo.
M60.
M60.
Yeah, M60.
That's because of the
slow fire rate. Yeah, duck. Like it's a fire rate deliberately. Like the fire rate is deliberately slow. Like it's a big weapon. It could obviously have an incredibly high fire rate, but it's deliberately slowed to provide like sustained suppression, not just drop its entire mag in like 0.1 of a second. It's not a killing gun. It's a suppressing gun, and the RPK isn't that. Like the RPK isn't a suppressing.
But it's our
weapon.
first iteration of something that you could use for it. That's what my point is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hope that it gets used like that. I really do hope that it gets used like that. But it is not the greatest sort of example of a suppressing weapon, if you know what I mean.
So this is like what I'm trying to say.
Maybe I'm just picking.
It's the first time we're actually going to start seeing roles. So like a good example is they're starting to implement a thing called the defibrillator, which is a way to revive people that's going to be a knocked out state. Anton, do you think that the defib has a place in Tarkov?
Well, didn't they say it's for fucking? It's for like stress resistance or some stupid shit like that. It's not even for like when you die, or like when you get shot. I don't know if I've
Wait,
heard this
what?
wrong.
I was
Have
under
I
the
been
impression there was
misinformed?
a knocked out state. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's like stress or some shit. I don't know. I think it's cool.
Like fainting goats.
I don't know. That's why I was so confused on it. I have no idea. I mean, I think if you get headshot, you should not be defibbed.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no
obviously
way.
it's gonna be like if it's gonna be a revive mechanic, it's gonna be like BF1. You get tapped in the
Right.
head, you're not
And it
gonna
would
get
have to be
revived.
like a 3-minute revive because let's say you kill a squad member and then he gets revived in like 20 seconds, and then sure enough, you don't actually have one squad mate down. I mean,
Yeah, and like this is really annoying, but I think it would need to be a animation that you could stop, but it's a long one, and you have to be like kneeling and over them and doing it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think it needs to make a lot of noise as well.
Have you
I think it's really cool.
have
as
you
long
used
as
a
it's
defib in
balanced.
real life? Any of you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, all the
I-
time when I was a paramedic, all
Yeah.
the time.
I use
No,
one just to get
Not
off.
like
I mean,
like in
what?
training. I'm not saying I'm not saying like on a person, but so that.
I've used one of the defib packs
Yeah.
where you put the things on and you just press the button. It's not very
But
exciting.
it takes like 3 minutes anyway. Like stand
Yeah.
clear, like start compressions, like, and you should have to go through the compression animation. And it,
Well, if it took two guys to revive, maybe.
and it has like it should be like a percentage chance to be able to revive too. Like you're sitting there like,
well, that's
fuck, it didn't
that's
work.
one thing that
Billy,
like,
Billy.
that's one thing that like I think it comes from just television is that it's just like CPR always works. It's like I don't care about my health because I know that if someone just uses CPR on me, I'll be fine. It's like, hey, man, it's not like it's not a priest using revive on you, bro. Come on, like yeah. I think you need maybe a medical skill, like a CPR skill, would be cool.
That'd be cool.
You can be like and if you focus on that, like you're a medically trained like
Yeah,
PMC,
doctor.
maybe you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor. Yeah.
Doctor.
Yeah, I don't know that I like the whole defib thing just because it's such a unlikely thing in like a war zone. But what I do like is an unconscious state and or the ability to drag people.
Yeah.
Because then imagine if you and a teammate, your teammate gets down, they're unconscious from blood loss. They haven't died yet. Maybe there's a threshold, right? There's blood percentage to make you pass out. Like if you black out your head from blood loss, you don't die, but you should go unconscious. So if that happens, you should basically be a fucking ragdoll that if your teammate clears factory, he should be able to grab you and drag you to the extract, and you should be able to make it out.
Yeah. I like the idea of being able to take your mate's body, like drag it, or if he blasts your legs. Like you see this in movies all the time. Draw a pistol, grab his pack with one hand and drag him, give him an M4, and while he's getting dragged along with his shredded legs like Lieutenant Dan, he can fire off a gun. Like is it too much to ask that absolutely every situation in every movie that I've ever seen should be in this game? And come on.
No, it's not. I mean, I just don't know where they want to go with the game. If they're gonna go super realistic, then the medical animations are stacking up to be something amazing. Because I don't know if you guys remember all the other stuff that was shown for medical stuff. You know, the splints, that big splint. You know,
Case.
all that other stuff, and the surgical kit, and the tourniquet, and so they are planning something fucking huge. And I don't even think we're gonna see these defibs for another 6 months, because I forgot about the tourniquet, like way back when.
Yeah.
If you
I'd
So I
like,
think it's just a placeholder for now. They're
I'd
just
like when
showing
you
us.
get shot, you like look at your leg, and then the game just becomes Surgeon Simulator, and you have to get the bullet out. You like got your hand, and it's like, yeah, you're smashing things off, just cracking open your skull with a hammer.
It's just,
I think that'd be a
Right,
great way to.
Gus. Sorry.
was that Anton?
Oh, I was just laughing.
I thought you said something.
No. What if you could do lobotomies on hatchlings to try to make them hatchlings? Be like, why have you done this?
That would just turn them into the scavs. When you're a scav and you have them you wave at them to follow you, they would just drool and follow you around.
I would like to be able to give people diseases, like run up and cough on them. And then like 10 raids later, they just like shit their pants in the middle of the field. It's like, oh,
We're not
damn.
playing Scum.
I did. No, I actually did like the idea of, like persistent going back to Skyrim. God damn it, they should just make Skyrim with guns. Come on. But like the ability to have an infection or something like that, right? Like if you take enough damage over time, like that should be, it should have cumulative effects, right? Like if you get shot once, okay, you can recover and you'll probably be fine, right? But if you get shot 100 times over the course of like whatever, and you have to heal, and you should have like a limp, and your screen should always be fucking cocked to the side, and make it so that there's some actual long-term cost to getting hurt, because right now there isn't.
No, not at all.
Okay, that goes
You just
into off
resurrect like
off-raid,
Christ.
healing and all that. So apparently, like when you're gonna finish a raid, you'll be back to your hideout, and then you've got to heal. I have issues with this.
It's gonna take a time.
Quite considerable. Like this is probably one of the things I really don't add it to the game, unless it's added in a way that where because like, okay, let me put it this way: it's either going to cost money, where you just heal and then you instantly healed anyway, or you're going to be too poor and then you're going to be on a timer to be able to go back into a raid fully healed, which is really unfair for people that don't have money. Because
it's like mobile games.
Yeah,
it's like mobile games where it's like you have to wait 20 minutes, or you can buy 10 coins for 99 cents.
Welcome to microtransactions.
And now we've got microtransactions in Tarkov.
Begging their friends for money. Dude, I really want to play. Can you just send me like 50,000 rubles so that I can heal? And we can
Yeah.
Literally gets into the raid, gets insta doinked by a scav.
I want to know how you okay, so you get shot in the face and half your brain's hanging out. How do you stumble back to your base and heal that? Like what are you doing? Like you go back there and Elon Musk is in there and he just transfers you through the neural network and repairs your body. Like how does that work?
Is you either need a suicide mechanic in the your hideout, or you go into a raid, run towards the first scav, let them blow your brains out, and now you're back at full health and you've lost nothing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. As soon as when you die, the fact that you get reset back to full health and there's no penalty, maybe, oh my god, imagine if they did what they did in, I keep literally just talking about Skyrim and Diablo because those games are some of the best games. Diablo 2, not 3. But
yeah,
like imagine if when you died, no, that's a bad idea. I was gonna say it'd reset your XP back to the beginning of the level. Remember how that works?
Oh,
that was an awesome mechanic. I love that.
Oh, that could work.
Die in this game. You could go a week in Diablo without dying, but you can't go 10 minutes and fucking. So they have to rethink that. But if you lost XP, no, that we can't make it harder for people that are bad. Ugh, never mind.
Oh,
stop being bad.
What was that, Anton?
bad.
And by that I mean me, like every other day.
Yeah, he's trolling Reddit right now.
Dude, listen, I am the worst Tarkov player here. Okay.
Stop sandbagging.
Ghostfreak, I think you might be the best. You have 80 survival rating, bro. What's going on over there?
Nah, dude.
It's because he keeps doing
fake.
runs where he's on factory and not factory, man.
Yeah, it's fake.
That's all he does on his days off. He just does night run throughs of factory, man. Gets it up.
Run-throughs.
Yeah, boosts it all, man. Yeah.
I thought he was good.
He just does it so he gets his KD really high. He gets all his mates to come in and get all their tags as well. Yeah.
Oh man, why you tickle me so?
I would think Ghostfreak's cheating if I looked at his stats.
I think he is cheating.
I think so. He's like Lauren.
Cheating on me.
You're on like 87% at the
Exactly.
moment, Ghost?
87.
What do you want?
Fuck off.
Don't make me look it up. What do you want?
I'm on 83.
Oh, sorry.
You're a oh my
No,
God,
it's not that high.
What are you guys on?
53%. My KD's 8.5. God, that's so bad.
No,
100?
it's remember, guys, it's always the start. I mean, it's the same with Slushy. Slushy is always like, "Oh, I'm fucking bad. I've got like 20 survival rate," and then next week he's like, "Hey, Ghost, suck my 63, bitch." I'm just like, "What the fuck?" You know,
Yeah, mine-
it picks
yeah.
up. It's gonna go down and then it's gonna pick up. So I mean, as soon
I've
as you
done
get to your level,
way more non-factory than like this patch. I've spent maybe 10% of my time in factory, when historically I've spent 90% of my time in factory. So that's probably the
Yeah.
reason.
What's yours at, Anton?
57.
dude, anything above 20 is good. If you're a solo
I know.
player,
I
just
went over
remember
this with
that.
chat, and they're like, "I'm at 20%. I'm at 30%." I'm like, "You guys fucking suck." If you have less than 50%, honestly, you're
I don't even-
probably
Well-
doing something wrong.
That's the thing. Man, like patches ago. Okay, so people were saying the other day, they're like, I think the game's easier than it's ever been. People were saying to me, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I remember patches where I had like 16 eye cases and like 25 weapon cases, all of them filled with like perfect M4s and AKs and VSSs, and having a survival rate of like 28%. I'm like, how does that even work? And then this patch, way poorer, and I've got 43% at the moment. So it's like, hang on. And the last patch, like my survival rate was like 65% until I started running hatchets for a week. And then it went downhill very quickly. but I was still a lot poorer. I think the game is getting harder. I don't think it's getting easier. I think the quests are just getting easier at the moment. So it's like, if you can, because you can buy all the quest items, it sort of makes it all the quests sort of redundant. Like the mechanic quests are just menu quests. Like I went from level 24 to 30 in an hour, and everyone in my chat's just sitting there going, "Can we play a game?" And I'm like, "I'm doing quests." And I'm like, yeah, this is really boring. Like, it is. It's like filling out your tax sheets, man. Like doing those quests. It's not interesting, dude. It's not gameplay, man. It's just, which part was it? Oh yeah, that's right. Click.
It's
click,
only interesting
drag.
if it wasn't the same thing every time. Like the fact that I can just go to a wiki and do it. If they were dynamic in some way that you actually had to think and actually had to know what the stats were of items. I don't know what anything does. People ask me, is this item better for Ergo? Is this item better for Ergo? I don't know. I literally don't have to look at it. There's no reward for being knowledgeable on any of this shit.
No.
You just figure out what the best is and you use it.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's no reason to go ergonomics over recoil. Like, there's no reason.
A lot of people always ask me, they're always like, "Oh, what's the best ammo to use at this level?" It's like, I don't know, man. I just boost to level 40 and then just use the best. Like, I don't know what the best is in between this.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm sure Pest has made a video on it. I'm sure.
Oh,
Go watch that.
Anton's got all the videos and ammo.
Oh no, to like get different kits to use at different levels. I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, what do you use? What do you use between 1 and 40? What's the last gun I picked up? That's like all it is.
Yes, until I use the RSAS. That's
Yeah.
I leveled the other day.
That's a blue.
And honestly, everyone in chat was like, "Why are you still using an MP153?" I was like level 35, still using an MP153. I'm like, it's just so fucking effective.
It just works. It just works. It's cheap.
It's like, yep, you don't have to worry about a rig. So I go into a raid. I've got an IFAK, painkiller, or morphine, and 30 buckshots. Done. I don't need to worry about any other rig, backpack, nothing. I'll loot that in the raid if I kill something.
Yeah.
Chuck some
Were
armor.
you leg mettering, or were you face?
Just go face of the head.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't have to kill many players. I worked out 40 PMCs is all I got, which is ridiculous. But yeah, literally I was just going to MP153, and now that's going to be my recommendation to anyone who's leveling. I'm like, get good at a shotgun, and then you're sweet.
Well, that's how I learned how to play the game. I literally, when at my first patch, I did no quests at all. All I did was just run factory endlessly, and all I used was a 153. Anything I picked up that was better than a 153, I would take it into the next raid and use it. Other than that, 153. If I died, 153 straight away. And that's all I did for an entire patch until I was like, okay, now I can kill people. Now I know how to kill people.
When I started with a new, what was it? Someone gave me a loadout in the beginning. This was like back in February, like my second month of streaming. Someone gave me a kit to start out with. And he gave me something. It was a stupid M4 with high amount of recoil and everything. And I went 43 runs with that thing without dying. People just like, what? And I had the worst ammo, but I played to the guns how it was set up. Yeet.
Fucking nutty.
But yeah, I
Like
think
cats are fighting.
you've really got. It's interesting. Like now that ammo isn't as important when it comes to the fact that you could. There's always the face hitbox. There's always leg metas. There's always ways. I die more to shotguns than any other gun, and it's usually because they go over my legs.
And blunt damage throughput right now is dialed way down to where it's almost non-existent, especially with helmets. So once that gets turned up, you should be able to pepper somebody's helmet, even with 9mm, even if it doesn't pen. It should be doing blunt damage, and it should blur the fuck out of their vision to the point where, like, even if you're not hurting them, they can't see you. They can't return fire. You're just essentially suppressing. Like that would make shotguns and 9mm at least viable from a not necessarily a killing perspective all the time, but from a defensive perspective.
If you use actual physics as a reference point, which the actual coverage of the point of the bullet that hits the helmet with the force of the actual speed coming, you know, I don't remember the actual equation for the amount of force, but effectively it'd be like getting hit in the head with a baseball bat. You don't just stand there when you get hit in the head with a baseball bat. Yeah. You are like, fuck, a full fucking swing.
Well, I mean, the amount of energy is the same as it is for the person shooting it.
Well, yeah, anyone that's ever shot a shotgun with a 12 gauge with slugs knows that the kick on a shotgun with slugs is way more than a 223.
I have a 12 gauge Mossberg, a big old Mossberg 500, and that thing, even with bird shot, it's like boom, it's like someone gives you a nice front kick to the fucking shoulder. Yeah. So if that happens over and over and over again into your helmet, that's gonna fuck your day up. You're not just gonna be able to turn and tap somebody. You know what I mean?
So, yeah. It's just honestly, I actually would wish, and I know it'd be open, it'd be the meta, but I wish shotguns would just rip people's heads off. Honestly, in factory.
Well, like Doom.
What about a neck hitbox, man?
Yeah, I agree.
I hate
the neck.
My biggest pet peeve in games has always been hitting someone in the neck, and it's not a headshot.
It's like basically the chest.
I want like neck shots. I want arterial bleeds.
There actually is a neck hitbox. Like the head hitbox goes into your neck, but it's not on the back of the neck, and it's only like sometimes because it's it's just a hitbox.
The way that the head hitboxes work, and this is a part of that video that I'm coming out with soon, TM, on like the hitboxes, armor, and ballistics. To kind of explain that stuff because nobody understands it, including me. Like a week ago, before I started working with that guy No Food After Midnight, who does the ammo charts. But there's a bunch of different head hitboxes, a bunch of different zones basically, and the biggest thing that people should take away from all that stuff is that what you see with the armor and with the helmets is not what they protect at all. Sometimes there's a correlation, but you need to look at what the zones are and know what the zones actually map to on the body. People will stop. If they understood that, you'd have 98% of the people that would say helmets are broken because I got one tapped through the helmet, and the helmet, and I verified this because the helmet didn't have any damage to it. And it's like, maybe you get shot in the ear or the eye or the nape or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Alton, you can shoot under the visor too.
Yeah.
You should show the Alton visor, because I'm too lazy to do this. Show how the Alton visor only protects half your face.
Yeah. The bottom half under the glass doesn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Man.
I sent them a video like 5 months ago on it, and they never did anything.
Yeah, that's what you and even then, like there is a small chance that even if a PM pistol hits you in the chest, it insta kills you. There's a tiny chance, but it can just insta kill you.
Armor bug's still in the game apparently. I don't know.
What is
the armor bug?
I've never ever once before done the whole like take off the armor, put it back on.
No,
thing.
I've been one tapped in the chest though by a scav with brand new fort. Like Fort Alton get one tapped in the chest.
Was it with a shotgun? Because from what I was talking to Veritas the other day about this, is that there's a small chance that any bullet can just basically insta kill you if it fragments. It's a very low chance, but there is a small chance that any bullet like can insta kill you. And if it's with a shotgun and they will hit your chest, That's 8 chances. Like
I
of
need to
insta
correct
kills.
that actually.
Yeah.
So the way that my understanding is that there is a point in which there is a 0% chance, a literal 0% chance of certain things penning. It's what was the other? There's a fuck. There's two ends of the spectrum, right? There's one. There's a 0% chance of something penning, but then the like 99% chance. Shit. Let me pull it up. But I was wrong about that. I was wrong about that. It's there's not a if you have like a 9 mil hollow point against an Alton, I'm pretty sure that's a 0% chance that it's gonna pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless there's an armor bug.
Oh,
Unless
well.
the game
So I just want to step on the new guns coming while you search for that. Where it does. The new guns coming. It's a Remington 700, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's essentially just another DVL, right?
Yeah.
changes nothing about the game.
It'll probably
It
have a
doesn't,
fuck ton
yeah.
of mods though. Remington 700s can be modded
Oh, yeah.
like a
Yeah.
fuck ton. So
Remington's
But
a
Do you know what happened to the Remington? The Remington.
bankruptcy?
Yeah. That gun literally made the Mac up.
I
That
think
Pacific rifle.
Did it
well, the
really?
Remington 700.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
How?
You go check on the
I would
dude,
think
it's
it'd be
like
the
this
ACR.
massive. No. We went to go check like the rifle and everything and talk about it. The same thing, and then I think it was Bloody brought it up that the company went bankrupt because of that rifle. They went bankrupt right after that rifle.
No,
Well, yeah.
the Remington 7, that's like one of the most iconic actions in the world for like long range like precision shooting, man. Like
Yeah.
off the shelf actions, everyone uses Remington 700s and then puts a hammer forged barrel on it. Like a nice barrel on it. Like everyone I know that shoots long range shoots a Remington 700 with a new barrel on it.
just because it's a good gun doesn't mean that it was
It
necessarily
sells well.
cost
Well-
effective or marketed or
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, I can see. I thought of a reason why it might be. Why it might have made the bankrupt. There's about bloody 400 different types of them in their lineup for no reason. It's just like just have one.
Yeah.
Oh, and also everyone that was using the Remington 700 was using ones from like the 90s as well because they're like, why would I get a new one? It literally lasts forever.
Yeah, that's a nice gun.
So that patch, they said it's going to be downscale. Do we know what they taking out?
It was.
Did they even give us like the full thing and then the smaller thing? Why are they downscaling this 0.11 patch?
I think they originally said that .11 was meant to have the hideouts. I think that's what they originally
And
said.
Voip.
And Voip. Yeah, definitely it was Voip as well. And
Oh,
because they want to get it
yes.
out before Christmas, they cut those two things out. So effectively they're just putting in some guns and the map, the Terra Labs.
When are we looking at the new engine? Maybe.
Here you go. Is embroiled in litigation over trigger defects on guns, such as its iconic Model 700, as well as another lawsuit by survivors of Sandy Hook. Newtown shooting, Connecticut, Bushmaster owned by Remington. Yeah.
So the changeover to Unity 2018 will happen in 2019. And I think from the podcast notes from the Russian podcast, I can't remember, but they're definitely well underway of making that implementation. I can't remember. I read the notes somewhere, but it was... Sorry, man. That's probably the closest I can give you that without making up shit.
Yeah. I'm just super excited for when it finally does go over.
I think it's under the...
So-
I'm under the impression that the reason why in the most recent podcast there was the claim that from Nikita saying year 2019 will be the last year of beta is because I think once they move over to Unity 2018, their ability to pump out new maps will actually be sped up like astronomically.
Yeah.
And so therefore they can get the content out really quickly and then just get the last focus on the coding of the hit reg and stuff like that. So
It'll be the first game ever to go into a Charlie version.
but yeah, so they've already said, like in the notes, they said the Scav boss on Killer for Interchange will be Killer. That's in in patch 11, and then they got the Hunter's Gang coming out on Woods in a later patch. And then they said here, new maps will be released much faster. Almost all content is ready. 2 maps in the next 2 to 3 months.
Word. Streets of Tarkov.
That's
That's Streets of Tarkov
That's,
apparently is
uh,
made. That was
that'll be
said.
Really?
nice,
That
man.
was said in the Talking Tarkov podcast
Interesting.
with the Russian version. So in translation, that probably means like planned or soon. I don't know.
Planned. Soon DM.
So I think that. Well, obviously there was patch 10.2, which was the optimization patch. It was either 10 or 10.2. The time it took them to make that patch was probably the longest period of time the game has not had any content added. I think we lost ghostfreak too.
Yeah.
The power going out.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly confident that's the longest period in this game since I've been playing it where no real content was added, which is fine. Because they did do a lot of fixes during that time. But I'm under the impression that content is now a high priority on them. Oh, he's back.
Oh, no. I added him and removed him from the group. I was trying to get him out of the thing, eh? Not ringing?
Just
There
leave
we
it.
go. Okay, excellent. We're good now.
Cool. So yeah, look, I'm super excited for new maps. I'm really hoping the player base will pick up from that. There was a question earlier talking about VPNs, and I'll say here that I honestly, like, I think the majority of the world doesn't really have to worry about the issues of VPNs purely for the fact that if it's quiet in America, an American can go to Europe. If it's quiet in Europe, they can go to America, and pretty much everywhere in the world has a player base that's substantial, minus South America and Australia. South America, I think, can get into an American server, whereas in Australia, depending on where you are in Australia, you can get into an American server. The question was based around the fact that is VPNs from people going from Australia to play on American servers effectively going to kill the Australian server entirely? I think it won't be an issue once the player base builds up, because I'd rather play on Australian server. I'm sure Slash is the same. The ping isn't an advantage at all. I get fucked on so often because of lag.
Oh, I get destroyed. Man, if I peek, sometimes I'm dead before I even... Like, if they're, yeah. I have deaths, like, on the LA servers, where my character falls over dead, and once he hits the ground, I hear... Like, if you are running at like 200 ping, if you're running at 200 ping and you don't see someone first, like if someone sees you first, then you're dead no matter what. It's
and so like
you got to play a lot more tactically with 200 ping.
I'd much rather be playing on Australian server. I think the biggest thing they could do right now is fuck off a couple of the servers around the world. They've got too many servers at the moment for the play base. The Sydney only needs one server. Maybe cut away some of the Asian servers as well to just help bolster the player base. Yeah, if the server goes down, we might have downtime on the server, but we could always go to another one if we have to, with a bit of lag. But that's just to answer that question, because I know that's been a pretty hot topic in my channel, at least, for the last few weeks. But there is now a newer South American server, which is great, but they need the player base to bolster it.
They actually added a Brazil server, really?
Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, so
Good
that's
job, Battle State.
which is
AU isn't region locked, Bob. Asia's the only region locked region. If you actually VPN to Asia and then try to play on an Asian server like I did the other night, then it will region lock you to Asia, and now I can't change servers. So I am stuck on the Asian servers.
but
Well, yeah.
I'm hoping that the new maps will actually bring the first massive surge of players back to the game. Normally a wipe happens and there's a massive surge of players back, and it's really good for like a good 4 to 8 weeks. But of recent, it felt like wipe happened, week later, gone. And it was...
I can't even play the game past 1 a.m., man. Past 1 a.m., there's... Ooh, sorry. There's like... I was the only one on Factory 3 raids in a row, or 2 raids in a row.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But come to the end of my...
I mean, you can look up the stats for it. There's only like 100 people per server or something right now. It's kind of
I
weird.
think they need to like so right now if I choose the best possible server, I think it just puts me on like New York or whatever every time because I live in the New England area. So I don't know, man. I feel like it should like randomly select n number of servers with the ping of less than 50 or something so that like at least sometime I would be connected with people on DC or New York or whatever. But literally I get in a rate. Last night I streamed for I think 6 hours and I have like 6 copies of the same 3 dog tags or I got killed by the same 3 people. And it's like, and I was playing at peak hours for gaming.
Yeah.
It's honestly,
Well,
I that's why I used to go to EU. I used to play on Amsterdam and London servers because I just got more action.
Well, today I was playing on the Singapore servers today during the day and playing with a 4-man, and we killed the same hatchling 4 raids in a row. Each of us got a tag each. And he was the only guy in there, like just one guy. He was just in there, just farming away.
Because you're going to kill the hatchling, and the amount of time it's going to take him to look at the desk screen, pull up your stream, see what happened, go back in and queue up again is the amount of time it's going to take you to kill a couple more people and extract and then queue up again. So you're on the same fucking schedule of
he did one in between. Like he could have been like 1 raid, empty, 1 raid, team, 1 raid, empty, 1 raid, team.
But like I said, with the new maps, I think that will bring a lot of hype back. The issue is most people just go, okay, what's been added? And like when a massive patch happens in a wipe, what's been added? Cool. They check it out. Cool. And I'm done. Go back to playing Call of Duty, Skyrim, whatever the fuck you guys play. Which it's, and then there's like people like
Hotel.
There's like some people like to experiment with the game and try and do different fun, cool stuff like challenges and stuff like that, which is all cool. But not everyone's a diehard player like 4 people in this one chat. Which is, But look, hey, if Terra Labs is a success, hopefully it brings a lot of people back. I think, so if you guys remember when Interchange came out, there was so many people like doing all these different guides and videos on exploring Interchange, all these different things they were finding and just like memes about random shit. And it just brings
this latest patch, like there really wasn't that many videos. Like there wasn't that much love around the patch, to be honest.
It
Like
was a
lot of people,
patch, but it was good.
But it's like the flea market changed the game astronomically, but it's just like there's not that much to say about it. What else? What do you say about it?
It's cool but broken. We'll wait until it's not worth commenting on something that is broken. See, this is why I get kind of bored with talking about the bugs, is because like we can talk about them, but once you acknowledge that it's broken and it's not the way it's going to be, then there's no point in even having the fucking discussion about it. It's just a waste, because if they change it tomorrow, now you can discuss what the implementation is, right? Like in my opinion, it's so much more interesting having a debate and a discussion about something working as intended than it is just like railing on something for being broken. So that's why, like, after the flea market, we established that it was fucked, but a bunch of people pointed out, Pestily pointed out exactly how it's fucked. And then after that, it's like, okay, let's all just wait, until it gets fixed, and then let's talk about it again and iterate.
Well, it's very interesting. The whole flea market thing, I knew I was probably doing a bad thing as well as a good thing. Like, I literally went out to see if I could break the flea market, which is something we need to do, like to test the game. But in doing that, did you notice how within the next, say, 36 hours, every single ammo, every single low-cost item just quadrupled in price? Like, people were going out of their way to...
Yeah.
And it's like...
And then a couple of days later, they disabled the market. I would say it was worth it.
Yeah.
There's a sort of look in, like, you have these specific views. Some people view it as like when someone breaks the law, someone protests against the law, like I don't know, someone walks down the street with their boobs out and then they get arrested. People go, good for you for fighting the power. And
conscientious dissenter or whatever.
Yeah, and then the other half of the population goes, "How dare she break the law?" Like you're never gonna win with that. You can't really get you're never gonna get a positive reaction for any of doing that. But I suppose all you can say is we're here to test. We tested. Like that's
and
now
that
they
metaphor
know.
breaks down because he didn't even break the law. He was exploiting, not even exploiting. He was just using the system as it is and seeing how it works, right? Like just
No,
testing.
I'd call it
something
exploiting. I was taking advantage of the system in place beyond the means of what's meant to be done. But beyond,
I don't know.
the
Like
standard.
if I come up with some loopholes in my taxes, like I don't know that I would call that. Maybe that's exploiting taxes. I don't know. Like
Just do your tax like I do my tax, man. Just keep if you're not getting a tax return, you just keep making up things until you get money back. It's easy. Isn't that how you do it?
No,
Well, I mean,
that's not how you do
I haven't
it.
paid taxes in like 10 years. I don't know.
I pay an account.
What would you do, Anton? What would you know, Anton? You're too young to do taxes.
Yeah, I'm way too young.
When you're under 18, Anton, you don't pay tax, so it's easy for you.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot.
But see, this is the issue. Like, I had to test it like I did because I wanted to test it to the extreme. I wanted to see what the most you could do.
Dude, I knew that was gonna be a thing. Like, I'm surprised that like everyone was so surprised you could do that. Like when I heard player controlled economy, I said it on stream. I'm like, you could get a group of 5 or even 1 person and just change the economy on your own. And,
Think about Pestily. If you hadn't have done that, and another group of people, even if you're not a streamer, even if you're a forum of and you got 50 people, you could have done essentially the same thing in the darkness of fucking night, where all of a sudden we'd all be saying, why are the prices of everything so expensive, and
Well,
nobody would know why.
This is what I was trying to explain to people in the chat that were railing is that this is not an unusual thing. This is not to say that people are doing this, but this is happening naturally just because of the way the market is coded. This is the reason that you're paying $15 for an M61 round is not because like it needs to be up that way. It's because what Pest and I were doing is actually just happening. People are just buying them all, selling them all at an inflated price, but it's happening at a slower rate, not just quadrupling instantly because people are putting them on there at $1 more, $1 more, $1 more. They're getting rarer and rarer because they're getting more and more expensive. And so it's creeping by itself. We just put it into turbo mode to highlight an error. Like that's all it is.
But the issue was there was nothing to drop. There's no incentive to bring prices back down. Like, there's no reason why you would ever put something up for cheaper than the cost price. Why would you do that? It makes no sense.
The only way that it's ever going to make a difference is if you look at a real market, there's not 10,000 people selling one thing. It's 50 people selling 10,000 things each. So think about the way that it works now, where you have a bunch of people at a constant price. Somebody decides to be like the mover and the shaker and to undercut everybody. It's there and it's gone. And everybody's still selling at the same price. What you need is someone to say, I'm going to sell 100, 10,000 whatever things at this price. And now it's there for a while. So then now the next person that comes in says, shit, I need to undercut that person. Let me put up 10,000 things here. But like that's not an insignificant thing in the price of
that works in real life because I have a shop. I put a sale on this one item to get people into my shop, and whilst they're buying this thing that's under cost price, they're purchasing my other items.
That's also another. So that's the thing, and that I've been saying since the beginning is that they say it's free market. This is how the free market works, and everybody. I always find that they're from other countries say, see, this is why capitalism doesn't work. And it's like, well, that may or may not be true. That's a separate discussion because what we have here is not a free market.
Capitalism solved world hunger, by the way. Just putting that out there.
but regardless of, I mean, that's
incorrect. I solved world hunger.
That's a debate I definitely don't want to be a part of on in Twitch chat. But whether you agree with the free market or not, you have to agree that what Tarkov has is a really shitty representation of a subset of all it is people can set prices. markets are so much more complicated than that when it comes to things like regulations, things like owning the, being able to, have the means of supply on your side, economies of scale. Like all of these things have an effect in economics that don't have an effect in Tarkov. So they either need to model it intelligently, get like a 14-year-old microeconomics student to consult for you, Battle State, please, Christ, and build a system, or you're going to have to heavily regulate it in some way.
The problem that I have with it is that it has the same trappings as the Australian economy. It's capitalism with just a sprinkle of socialism. We'll put caps on these things. We'll just sprinkle that on just because we feel like it. And now we have a potato commission and we're all starving to death. It's
yeah, I mean, because it's all essentially, it almost is kind of in a way, because the supply is set. Like think about Prepor as like a piece of government, right? Where you have one entity essentially that gives you the supply. You get 99.9% of the supply of AKs comes from Prepor, and then 1% comes from Scavs or whatever the percentage is, right? Like morphine, people are, but like if you look at the the flea market at the beginning, almost all the morphine was coming from people like Pestily, who was able to buy it early. It wasn't coming from people running shoreline and grinding and collecting caches of 100 morphine, right? So it's a broken system.
Yeah. I like the flea market. It's probably just put the game into easy mode as well. That's the other big issue I have about it.
It's done really good. It's just a terrible idea. I mean, or not terrible idea, but they didn't
I think
see exactly what it would do. I don't know.
Like a great idea executed poorly.
Yeah.
But with shining nuggets of awesomeness in it. Like it's really, it has what it needs in it. It just needs tweaking. The Ferrari running on 3 cylinders.
I think
I don't know. I don't have any more analogies.
The way I see it is, there's been amazing ideas about ways to make the flea market better, but I actually don't mind the idea of making it that you can't sell anything on the flea market that you purchase from a trader. Like maybe they've got a separate ID. Like there's a trader purchased item, and even if you took it into a raid and then died to someone and they tried to put it up for sale, it would still say, no, this is a trader ID item. And then make it that only lootable items from raids can sell to the flea market. Now that's obviously not a free market, but
I'll tell you how you could make it a free market. Make it so the traders like Prap or undercut people. So instead of raising to the price,
cool.
they undercut. So like if Prappor's selling AKs, like you obviously got to say, oh, I can't sell them at a cost price, but like Prappor should be able to undercut people. So if people start putting them up for exorbitant prices, then Prappor just goes, well, I'm just gonna undersell you. Like
Prappor just chucks stuff on the flea market. He's like, oh, I'm gonna chuck 1,000 up now. Fuck you.
Well, maybe his price lowers.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting thing. I mean, that would involve, I think, some algorithms that I don't know that I would necessarily want them to try to implement. They could do a shortcut where it's like, all right, if there's a bunch of stuff and the price has gone up past, like hard code all the thresholds, where it's like, then put something underneath for 60% of the price and put up 10,000 of them, right? So that now nobody's shit on the flea market is going to sell. Everybody's trader rep above that point is going to go down, especially if they have large quantities. But in the future, it could work. The system that they have now, I think conceivably could work if you remove traders from the game and you or remove them from the menus, and you put the traders or ways of getting large quantities of stuff in a raid. Imagine if you had to go into Shoreline, meet up with a trader, buy a bunch of stuff, and then haul it out. Now it's taken much more time and money and resources for you to buy those things, and then get it out. And then you could put them up on the flea market. There'd be a lot more people competing for a different kind of quantity of things. And with the scarcity and with the risk and reward that comes from it, then I think it'd be much closer to a real economy, and give us the ability to like reload bullets or manufacture shit or whatever.
The reason why a flea market works in EVE Online is because you get the raw materials. You buy the raw materials. You can create the items you want to sell, and then you sell it. So you actually put buy orders up. Say, I want to purchase 10,000 gunpowders, 10,000 grains of gunpowder, and then someone would fill those orders over time. Like someone might sell 10 grains, next person might sell like, I don't know, a kilogram worth or whatever. And then after you get all the items you need, you actually make the bullets and then you just put them up on the market. You're actually a manufacturer in the middle. So that's why it works, because you can put buy orders up. And that's another thing that could help drive prices down too, is actually putting buy orders up. So instead, you could put it up for sale at 200,000 rubles, or you could literally sell it straight away right now for 160. Look, you don't have to wait. You don't have to take that risk that someone might not buy it for 2 hours or 3 days. You can literally just go, bam, sold. 30k less, but I got it straight away.
What if there was a minimum, like what if the flea market, imagine if there's like a minimum threshold for like quantity or quality there, where it's like, if you want to put something up, you need to have at least 1,000 or at least 500 or at least, and maybe it depends on the items, because just having one at a time, like I said, the price, it's not enough to have any pressure to push the prices anywhere, really. So except for up, there's no downward pressure because you just have somebody undercut by a ruble, it gets sold and it's gone. And everybody's racing to buy that one thing, but then everybody else that puts stuff up that isn't camping the market, it's all stuck at a static value. Imagine if you had to sell, then what you're doing is you're committing to putting up something up at a price. You're going to think very hard about what's the minimum you're willing to take, because if you put something up and then 5 people undercut you, it's going to sit there forever and you can't cancel a sale.
Well, what if you could cancel sales and didn't get the hit on the trader rep? There's like,
Well, I think you should be able to just lower the price.
Yep.
Like
That was an idea that I had, too. Also,
yeah. Why can't you just lower the price? Like, it's
if you could, if just say,
Or-
you look at an item, if you looked up 60 round mags or something right now, and there's probably like 30, probably more. There's probably like 100 offers of a certain item, like bitcoins. There's probably 100 bitcoins up for sale right now. But if every one of those persons could actually, no, I want to sell it faster, undercut that guy, and they'd be like, I want the cheapest price. I want the cheapest price, and they would actually try and get their sales done faster. That would force prices down, 100%. There's people up there.
Yeah, I had the idea to set like a minimum price, and this was problematic, and I don't think it would work because you could fuck
like
with it too much. But it's gonna say set a minimum, and it would like automatically go down to the minimum. But yeah, that you could easily like fuck with people where you'd like put something cheaper, it would lower their price, and then yeah. But I definitely think that that's a viable thing to at least try, which is make it so that you can change the price or take stuff down without penalty. I don't see why taking stuff down for sale, you should be penalized for that or have to wait.
yeah, it's sort of dumb.
Or if you accidentally put an extra 0 and you've already hit yourself with 1,000,000 rubles extra in fees, and now you actually have to wait 30 days or take a 3 trader rep hit to take it down.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Look, we've probably only got about 5 minutes left. I know some of us have things to do. If anyone in chat wants to chuck some questions out, we'll answer some questions just like last time. You at the person for the question. I'm sure Anton has plenty of things he'd like to answer. And
Don't at me, I'm sleeping.
like,
Yes.
and yeah, and then we'll wrap it up. But guys, we're gonna try and do this every few weeks. There is we do want to start playing some games against each other and with each other. Not just Tarkov, but maybe some like hand simulator stuff and some other stuff. We do definitely want to keep incorporating the team working together and playing games together and showing that we're actually cool, funny, legit people as well. So, guys, just chime in. Any good questions?
Know any fixes for region lock? Nah. The last person that I know that got it fixed was when the wipe happened.
You think they should put in a karma system like they've talked about? I don't know, man. Like I feel like this universe is survive, kill or be killed. So the whole idea of like helping people, first of all, like it's not like an NPC in a game like Fallout that you're explicitly making the choice to help or hurt, right? Like if they were to do karma, I feel like it would have to be that you could like give karma to somebody. Like if somebody helped you out, you could
Chuck them a
do
few
something
Facebook
to help.
likes.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's funky. I'm not really sure. I don't know how much I really like the karma
Maybe
system.
someone gives you a thumbs up in game or something like that, and it's like, yeah, Ding. Be funny.
Karma's not a thing in real life, okay, guys?
I think
Yeah, it is.
with scavs, I think there needs to be like a implementation of this whole good scav, bad scav thing. I think if you kill another scav, you should, instead of being able to rejoin a scav raid in 10 minutes or whatever, it should be like an hour or 2 or a day. Like almost like in CSGO, you kill your teammate, you get banned once, it's like a half an hour lockout. You get kicked again, or you get timed out again, it's like a 1 day. You get timed out again, it's like a 3 week. Like it should just be like every time you fuck over a scav, as a scav, it should be more severe. And then if you go like a 1 week period without a fuck up, then you can you're good to go.
Like you can't scav, right?
Yeah, just scav. Just to force people to try and play together as scavs instead of against. There's no incentive.
That'd be cool.
Zero incentive.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like you're a guy that has like you're kind of role playing, right? You're hopping into the body of a scav. You've got friends and family in this world, right? Like the guy around the corner, you've probably met him before and smoked some cigarettes and bummed some vodka off at one point. Like you wouldn't just immediately turn around, become sentient, and shoot him in the head, right? Like there's got to be some sense of like larger risk reward. If you killed another, if you killed another couple of scavs, you're now like, that's like shooting your neighbor and walking back over to your house and just sitting there and waiting. Like that ain't gonna work out well for you, friend. You're not a soldier that's coming in and coming out. This is your home, right? So that makes more sense for sure in the scav side of things to have a karma system.
They have talked about implementing a karma system with PMCs where it's like you kill another USEC as a USEC, you'll go down in karma. What I think would actually be really cool, when they add the cultists in and the UNTAR, I wanted to call them United Nations, but UNTAR, when the UNTARs put it in and the cultists, I feel like you should actually have, if you kill a UN, you should go up in rep with the cultists, and if you kill a cultist, you should go up in rep with the UN. Sorry, up in rep with the cultists, but down with the UN, and it should be like a trader for each of them. This is just like a World of Warcraft idea, but you could actually farm one of the different factions, and then eventually you actually get to purchase items from one of, not the other, and you could never purchase from both, but you'd have the opportunity to go, oh, you can get you some cool gear from the UN, but no, you'll never be able to from the Terra Labs unless you do the 180 and then start farming the other way around.
That's the first thing I've heard that is moving towards the like build kind of idea, where I would probably have a bear that was all full on with like either the like one faction, and then I'd build a USEC that was another faction. So rather than be level 40 after a week, you'd have two guys that were level 20. They'd be different, have different loadouts, different gear. It'd be interesting to switch back and forth to like be able to role play. Like that would change the replayability of the game so much. Holy shit. I love that. And if there were like, I don't want to say perks or skills or something, but if there was some way to define, like not just be like, I'm also the fastest and strongest and most epic aimer and whatever, but like be able to pick.
Yeah,
like a skill tree.
Well, like the healer and LMG sort of thing. Like, are you a support fire? Are you a flanking man? I don't know.
So as you level up, you get passive points, and you can actually delegate those points in the fields you want to.
Yeah,
that would, you'd be able to plan, and there'd be a whole metagame around like, here's the best survival build. Here's the best. It now takes literally the entire game and the one meta that there is, the one way of playing it, and it breaks it up into potentially an infinite amount of ways to play, that then now there's plenty of content and guides for us to make.
Yeah, and I think another thing just to touch on that whole UN and cultist thing is, as you like, World of Warcraft has it really well. So like you'll have neutral, friendly, I don't know, best friends forever kind of thing. And when you get to like the best friends forever, they actually don't attack you at all. They're like, they're friendly. They will actually just, if you get shot at, they'll probably fight back for you, kind of thing. Like, but whereas like we're talking like a lot more into the AI planning of a NPC right here, but effectively you make it so they actually be friendly and actually help you. So some really cool ideas out there. I love this game. There's so many cool things you could do with it. There's so many directions. It's the first time in ages, and this is why no matter how fucking buggy Escape from Tarkov can be, it's just such a fun game because it's so innovative in the way it's going. There's no game out at the moment. I have this conversation all the time when people say, how do you play the same game? I don't know how many hours a week. Let's just say always. And then, you know, I can still load it up because there's just another cool idea.
Okay, question. Useless and boosted us in me. What did they say? Given the track record of creating bugs every time BSG add a new content, is there a likelihood if they can get on top of it, will the game die before full release? And then to add on to that, how or what needs to be added to implemented to keep the player base playing, or is it just a case of more content?
It's been a lapse of content of recent.
Yeah. I think the bug fixing is not a matter of they're not trying and they're struggling. It's more of they have nails to bang into a piece of wood, and instead of focusing on just hammering them all down, they're building a bigger, more effective hammer, and no nails are getting knocked into the wood at the moment because they don't have that bigger, more effective hammer. So it's like they're trying to fix greater issues that are going to affect these bugs on the whole, such as the anti-cheat. They're not just going to go and ban single players and things like that. They're trying to get coverall solutions that are much more effective than actually just going out and fixing these one tiny bugs that affect people like once in a blue moon. They're trying to make a bigger commitment to quality by making grander changes. And so I think that you're not seeing much work or progress in these areas just because of that. It feels like nothing is happening, but like they're not coming to work and just doing nothing. Like they've got it, they're getting paid. Like they have people to respond to. They have shareholders that have amounts of money in this game. They have bosses that just respond to. These people are working on the ability to fix this stuff, but it's just taking a little bit longer. So it feels like nothing's getting done. And in the sense of end game, they are going to add arenas and ratings and things like that. So I think that will supply the end game, and it's going to make it quite fun, to be honest, as long as they can execute those well.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
You can't always make bug fixes top priority, though. Net liquid is the thing. You don't
balance.
always, as a coder, you don't always get the decision to play. You don't always get the decision to fix what you want to fix. As a coder, you go, okay, I would love to fix this, but your boss goes, I don't give a shit about that. We need to deliver this now. And so they could have lots of pressure from external sources, other people above them as the coders, people like Nikita, different types of people coming in from the top and saying, we want new maps now. And they go, oh, we just want to fix this one accuracy bug. And they just go, no time, new maps now. We want more people buying the game. So it's not always not always the dream. So the coders, the devs could want to fix it, but they just might not have the time.
All right, we might have to wrap that up there, unfortunately. Guys, firstly, thank you very much, Anton, Veritas, and Slush for hanging out today. Part of the chat, guys. If you're not already following them, there is the linked in chat. If you're listening on the podcast or on YouTube, go down to links below, give them a follow over there. Really awesome content creators, very passionate about Escape from Tarkov. As you've heard during this, guys, thank you very much for hanging out in the chat. It's been an absolute pleasure and a lot of fun. We do want to do this more often, once every few weeks. We'll try and come in here and just chew the fat about Escape from Tarkov. Besides that, guys, we'll host someone, and if anyone in chat or Slush or Anton, name please. Someone that speaks English.
Host?
Beard 2G.
We always host Beard.
Yeah.
We can do it. It's fine.
You know, always host Beard.
Who's Jactus? Jactus. Australian.
Let's say someone smile.
There's Ali. Ali Neko, do you guys know her?
Oh yeah, how's Ali? Yeah, I like Ali.
Ali's fucking awesome.
Playing Tarkov, she is. Cool, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to send you guys over to Ali Neko. Go say hello. Give her a follow. Besides that, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time. And yeah, one last time, guys, if you're not already following these guys, please go give them a follow. Check them out next time they're streaming. You won't be disappointed. Ask them plenty of Tarkov questions. And sub their YouTubes, bear their children, all that cool stuff. Anton, say
Right
bye.
on, guys. Cheers.
See you, boys. Bye bye now.
Dun 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 dun.